Here is my disc. Now when I'm doing cording, I don't generally use much in the way of bobbins, and I don't use any weights. I know that's different than a lot of people do, and it might simply be as a result of the projects that I choose to work on. But anyway, here's my disc. This is for a 7-strand braid. It has positions 1 through 7, and I am using a 1/2 inch kumihimo disc. This is the disc on this side. This is my special label on this side. I have my cords on, and for in the interest of showing you on video, I do have a few beads on little paper bobbins. Generally, I like to do my braiding just like I do beadwork, which is 1 bead at a time. So if I'm using a needle and thread in beading, I put on 1 bead, I place the bead, and I finish it off. So I tend to do the same thing with braiding. I put my bead on and then I finish it off. Alright, so I've positioned my cords. I have 7 strands, and they were in all of the positions except number 8 is open. Now this particular braiding technique is a European braiding technique. It's more commonly known in today's society as fill the gap, because what you're doing is you're moving your cord in succession numerically into the only open position, which is where fill the gap comes from. So in this instance, if I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to take cord 1, and it's going to go into the only open position, which is number 8. I'm going to take cord number 2, which is the only open position is number 1. Cord number 3 goes into the open gap. Number 4 goes into the open gap. Number 5, and so on, until you get all the way around, and then you basically just start over again. So this next time around, what I will do is I will actually show you as I'm adding the beads. Alright, so I'm all the way back to my main position, and 8 is open. Right? So I'm going to take my number 1, going to move a bead down, and I need to drop it into a position so that it goes underneath this cord right here and locks in there. See, it goes under, locks in, and I put it into my only open gap position, which was number 8. Turn my disc. I'm going to do number 2 now. I'm going to drop a bead down. Make sure that it goes underneath that cord. Pull it over to the open gap position. Again, one more time. Number 3. Drop down, pull, and go over to the gap. So you can see it's a pretty simple way to do some braiding, but you can do some exquisite jewelry by changing positions and using different beads. Okay, so that's how I do 7-cord braiding with a flexible cord. This is a polyester 0.5 millimeter cord. Alright, now if you're wanting to do it with wire, same disc, same setup. This is a 28 gauge wire as opposed to the cording, so you need to be able to manage wires. One reason for not preloading anything on these is because they would really be tangled, and it would be very, very difficult to try and control them. So again, nothing has changed. We're still bringing all of the cords over, or I'm sorry, all of the wires over, but what you want to be careful about is as I move my next, so 1 is open, so my next number is 2, I'm going to pull it over, but I need to keep tension on the number straight across from where I'm going. So I'm going to put my thumb on number 5 as I pull it over to the open gap so that I can keep tension on this, and my goal is to try and keep this in the center. And if it's not, I'll want to pull it back until it's in position. Okay, so my next number would be 3, so I'm going to bring 3 across, keeping my thumb on 6 so that I can pull tension straight across on number 2 where the open gap was. One more time, I'm bringing up 4, keeping my thumb on 7, bringing straight across so that I can pull tension, and there goes number 3. Now when you want to add beads, Like I say, I do it more like beadwork where I'm adding them one at a time. So my next number would be 5. So all I need to do is grab my number 5 wire. I'm going to put a bead on it, just like that. Drop it down. Drop it so it goes under the wire. Keep my tension on number 8 and pull across to number 4. That's the open gap number. So my next number is 6 because here's my gap. I'm going to add a bead onto number 6. Drop it down. You can place it by pushing it down under that wire, but make sure you come back over to the wire directly across so that you can keep the tension on there. Go to number 7, add the bead, drop it down, place it under the wire, hold the one directly across, number 2, so that I can pull my tension across. And that's all there is to it. It's a pretty simple technique, it's fun, and there's all kinds of great ideas that I'll be coming up with that you can do with both the cording and the wire, so be sure and check back. Appreciate you checking in at Eddyville, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.